Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This video is very Ripple XRP centric, and I'm going to start with a interview that was just uploaded very early this morning, Japan time. These guys that run Chain Talk bring a lot of good content to the space. Just prior to this interview with the SBI employee, Tomohiro Yamaguchi, they actually had a very good article or a very good interview with Seth Lim, very much known in Asia as the XRP whale. But in this video, I think I tweeted it out, and some people had a little trouble with his pronunciation. The Japanese accent, if you will, is sometimes a little bit difficult. I don't have a problem with it. I've been living here now so long, my ear is very in tune to it. So what I'll do is I will pull out a couple of the nuggets in case it is hard to grasp. The first one is at the 3-minute and 40-second mark, and he confirms that through the joint venture with the formed body of SBI Ripple Asia, that they have used Ripple coin, the Ripple coin as he calls it, to reduce, that's XRP of course, to reduce costs through the X current in terms of international remittance area. So this is a very exciting job for us, he says. And then at the 4-minute 10-second mark, Chris Larson and SBI have a history of collaborating more than 15 years ago. So that relationship started quite some time ago. And then in the 6-minute and 20-second mark, he's asked, in terms of progress, how's it going? And he takes a pretty much, one of those very sure stance, and voice is projecting. He says, actually going well. And it's that change of tone. He is really excited about where they are. As a matter of fact, the talk is gets a little interesting around the 8-minute 6-second mark when he talks about plans beyond the remittance area. And he says that there are a lot of plans to be developed, and so I don't say any more. And he got kind of a funny laugh, and he looked at the camera, and then he paused and he said, but they are still planning about that, and I just don't say anymore. So I don't know what it is that they are planning, but whatever that is, it sounds very exciting. So, and the last part I think that was interesting for me is that in regards to Facebook, he sees it as a very great opportunity for collaboration, and he doesn't see the Libra coin as a rival at all. He believes that it's the next generation partner, and he sees quite a separation of Libra doing work that's quite different than they are doing, and it's obvious he sees it as a huge opportunity. So he's a big guy. I mean, he just met with the CEO of Tencent in China a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, not just anybody can book a meeting with that CEO. So I know he is doing some, I'm sure, some amazing work behind the scenes. SBI has a lot of talent. So sometimes you hear a lot of people, I know that always the buck stops with the CEO, but when you look at what is driving this growth, and whether it's successful or not successful, it has really been a team effort, not only with SBI, but of course with Ripple as well. And that takes me actually to the next story and talk about the number for Ripple. This is Emi Yoshikawa, and she had a fantastic interview in the business section of the Nikkei. That is equivalent to being having a full article in the Wall Street Journal. And it's really good because she introduces Ripple, like the how and the when in terms of history. And 60% of the Ripple employees right now are made up from the technical side. So there's lots of engineers. And those software engineers are really an important part of that team. She goes on to talk about the way that Ripple solves the problems in banking with the Ripple technology. She does an excellent job of communicating. And she's a good communicator, especially to those who might be reading about Ripple or the digital asset XRP for the first time. She's very knowledgeable about blockchain in China, particularly the mobile payment apps like WeChat and Alipay. They go into quite a lot of detail in that subject. So I think MoneyTap and the mobile app and the international remittances, I do think this is going to be poised for a lot of exciting announcements in the future. All right, VC Trade. Well, we know it's live, and yeah, it's a little bit of a slow start. As I had said from the very beginning, this is in a building process. This is one country, one exchange, although the Mr. Kitao has his sights on being number one, and he's been able to bring the security site, the SBI Securities, to number one. Now that the SBI VC Trade is underneath the umbrella of the SBI Securities, I have no doubt we're going to see that happen. And actually, later on this afternoon, the trade was actually picking up. I registered to get an account. I am a permanent resident in Japan. I can do that. You have to be a resident of Japan in order to use this site. I had a couple of questions come my way on the backside of Twitter today. And so after filling out all of the KYC, I still have to wait for a postcard to come, and they have a special promotion. So even though we thought that there weren't going to be any promotions until fall, there actually was a promotion that was announced today, and that is for customers with accounts that have held assets on the VC Trade site from July 31st, 2009, if you had more than 10 XRP on there and you'd used the service more than once between December 1st, 2018, until that July 31st date, you can apply to get the CoolX wallet. And I just want to show you how cool it is. This is Tony Stark XRP. He is in Japan. And he got one of the wallets, which is like thin as a credit card, and it is very cool. So this is a investment that SBI has done. It's a ultra secure way to store your digital assets. And look at this. It is just very cool. So if you go to Tony Stark's Twitter site, you can see this video and get a better idea as to how it works. It is available in, this one is, what do you call it? When you brand it, or that's not the word I'm looking for. When you take an item and you customize it for your own personal look and feel, you've got your company wrap, logo, and feel. Wow, it's just not coming to me right now. It's localized? No, that's what they do with menus. What do you do with products? It's like an OEM, but then you put your look and feel and brand it with your company logo. That's how this one is. But if you want one of these wallets, they are available, but it won't be an SBI version. It'll be their regular version. Okay. And then, of course, I am just telling you about Hodor's blog because, again, I'll say it again, I just can't keep up with everything in this space. And whenever I read his blog, I feel like I have truly caught up on what has happened in the last just week. It's amazing in 7 days what goes on in this space. This is a brand new channel by XRP Productions. It's fairly new. I think they only have 7 videos and they're all very, very good. This one in particular is so great. They hired a professional voice actor to do it. It's fun, it's upbeat, they're creative, it's professional, and this one is Classic Schwartz Episode 1. So it says here that even though Hodor has read some of David Schwartz's comments previously, it was great to be reminded of David Schwartz's insightful perspective, and he's responsible for the broader set of the community interactions that most of the Ripple executives, and based on that history, is typically one of the most popular speakers and writers in crypto generally. So I totally agree with Hodor. And again, if you're not catching his blog, you're missing out, because someone like myself who is spending a lot of hours in this space researching, there are things that just go under the radar and slip by because there's just so much to keep up on. So Hodor is one blog that will keep you in the loop. And this is the website for their channel. I just wanted to highlight that, because in all the videos, and I watched them all, I love this 2-minute one. This XRP in 2 minutes. It's just, it was my favorite. So anyway, good job. I think they are doing fantastic. And another person that is doing a fantastic job is Leonidas. This is XRParcade. So his questionnaires have been answered, and he did a survey, and it's 27 questions that were given to the XRP community. It was open from June 12th to July 28th. There were 474 responses, and the breakdowns are so interesting. You know, not just about what countries represent this community, which is the UK, US, and Netherlands. Actually, let me flip that around. US is number 1. Second was UK. Netherlands was number 3rd. Netherlands, you are driving it home hard. And, you know, but it's all the way from Norway to Nigeria. So this is truly a global community. It also breaks down age and gender, language. 47% of us are married, 25% of us are single, and 15% of us are in a relationship. The largest percentage of people in terms of education have a bachelor's degree, 17% have masters, and the information services, software, healthcare, and finance were the most represented industries in terms of what people do for a living. It also has a breakdown of income, and it asks, how did you ever hear about XRP? When did you invest? 78% of those invested in XRP did so between the price of 10 cents and 50 cents. And how much XRP do you own? And why do you own it? So yeah, this is just great. I don't want to tell you all the answers because I want you to go to the XRParcade site and really have a careful look. And I will put a link to that in the description below. All right, are we jumping? Yeah, we are jumping already. We are jumping to the fluff. I'm going to talk about surveys, and then it's going to kind of lead me into another random fluff story that, if you're new to this channel, I had a big surge in subscribers in the last month and a half. And so I think most of you know now that towards the end of the videos, I talk about something cultural from Japan. So that's what I'm going to do now. And if you don't care for it, it's okay. You can catch another video. And in the beginning, I always talk about crypto, and it always ends with a fluff story. So here we are sticking with surveys. This is the salary survey 2019 Japan. I think if you ever wanted to come to Japan and work, you might find this survey interesting to see how much it pays here. There is Tokyo and there is Osaka. Those are the 2 major cities. Tokyo's salaries are a little higher because the cost of living here compared to Osaka is a little bit higher. So I think I'll put a link to this in the description below. And if you want to come and you have some skills that are in demand, well, I recommend you getting in touch with a recruiter. That's how it's done here in Japan. The recruiter or the middleman is still very much used, and that's how you can find some jobs. And so in addition to when you find your job, and if you are a foreigner, I think you will probably be one of the thousands that register with these talent agencies. Yeah, well, teaching English is very popular here. IT, of course, is very, very popular. And again, I reiterate, in high demand. People also come here and do translation work. Some stay in the service sector, like for tourism or hotels. There are also people who do headhunting. It can be very lucrative. You can get really nice salaries if you're successful in that sector. There's also a big demand for engineers. You can always do sales, and there are a lot of banking and finance people here globally in Tokyo because it is a financial hub. And though just for side jobs, I know so many of the expat community are doing voice acting. They are hired as influencers. They have acting positions, not only for TV commercials, but also for promotional web videos. There's modeling. There's a lot of extra work. Singers, musicians, a lot actually of that, and dance performers. So even in addition to your regular job, if you are a foreigner here, and the more exotic you look, the more jobs you get, I have found. So it's not about being stereotypical. It's about being totally out there in terms of being different. That seems to be what these talent agencies like, because I know the people who get the work are usually the most colorful people in terms of their personalities and the whole package. So anyway, don't think you have to look like a model to get these jobs, because that's not actually what they're looking for. All right, and then, if you don't want to come to Tokyo or Japan, it's okay. There is a lot of 360 VR videos now that you can come, and wow, these are just so cool. This is Shibuya. This is the big crossing that I have talked about. This is where Google is now going to be. This doesn't have the Google. Oh, yep, there's Google. This is Google here. It's still under construction, so this is still not too old. This is a 360 VR video, and they're just very, very fun if you have not discovered them. So you can come and get a real feel for many parts of Tokyo or many parts of Japan through these VR videos. And there's one that I really want to point out, and it's a tea ceremony. This is so precious. And if you ever wanted to experience an authentic, real tea ceremony, this is a 360 VR video that you can do that with. It's fabulous because I can see as if I was sitting in the room. It is just amazing. And the whole experience of tea ceremony is so traditional, and it has a deep-rooted meaning and culture that I just, yeah, it's quite special. So let me just go a little bit forward, and then I'm going to put the link to this one. This video alone is probably worthy of a whole big fluff story to explain to you what is going on. They're actually, if I flip around here, they're watching her prepare the water. Yeah. So this is the tea master, and she is preparing the tea. This is just really great. Anyway, even if you don't understand what's happening, I think to watch it is going to be a great experience. And then I'll put it on my to-do list to do a more in-depth video on Japanese tea ceremony. It's just great. I really, really hope you have a chance to watch this one. All right, everybody. Yeah, I do hope you take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.